Hello, welcome to another episode of Read With Me. I'm yours truly, Isabel Bedell, and I'm here to read with you after a long day of living and a long day of creative juices. So I'm excited to, end my day with you. And most importantly, I'm really loving the fact that I either start my day or I end my day, depending on how I'm feeling, reading, because this was definitely something new that I really wanted to get into, but I never actually did because I was procrastinating to begin this journey of reading. And thanks to, the commitment of 22 books in 2022, we've been committed to read, and it's been amazing. So I'm really excited to get into chapter number 7, lucky number 7, in this amazing book, Big Money Energy by Ryan Serhant. It is chapter number 7, and it's called The 1,000-Minute Rule. All right, let's get into it, shall we? Do you know what you have in common with Elon Musk, Steph Curry, Jeff Bezos, The Rock, Oprah Winfrey, and J.K. Rowling? You all have the same number of minutes to use however you choose every single day. 24 hours in a day multiplied by 60 minutes gives us all 1,440 minutes. Take away a reasonable amount of time to sleep, eat, shower, and hug your kids, and you're left with 1,000 minutes. You can use your minutes to conquer the world and earn buckets of money, write books, train for a marathon, hang out with your family, have drinks with friends, buy groceries, meditate, do laundry, watch Netflix, or post pictures of your dog on Instagram. Every day you wake up with a fresh 1,000 minutes in your bank time. You are the CEO of that bank, and it is totally up to you how to put those minutes to use. You're as rich in time every Monday as Oprah and the actual richest man in the world. You can no longer think of yourself as free anymore. Big you, successful you, knows that time is expensive. And when we think about our time like we do our money, we can shift our mindset to not throwing it away. You wouldn't throw away $100, would you? Well, that's what you're doing with an hour and a half when you're not being productive. You're basically throwing your income out of the window. Bye-bye, money. The clock starts ticking the second you wake up. And if you aren't aware of those precious minutes are being used, it will suddenly be 9 p.m. and you'll be wondering once again, how you didn't find the time to call back all of your clients or follow up that new contact you made last week. The day got away from me. Such a busy day. I'll do that tomorrow. Sound familiar? That's because there are a few common minute killers sneaking around, trying to bankrupt our time bank right under our noses, often without us even knowing. By learning to identify and destroy these minute killers, you can take control of your day, maximizing your time and make more money. That is so freaking true. And I was just thinking about that today. It's funny that I always somehow I love that when that happens. I know this is a random side note, but I love when I've had a productive day. It's been, pretty good. And then all of a sudden, whenever I'm reading, it aligns with what I'm reading. I think that's pretty awesome. Okay, so let's get into it. Minute killer number 1, the perfection trap. Okay, I like to be the first one at work. If I were to waltz in around 11 a.m., kick back and eat a breakfast burrito while listening to a podcast, that sends a clear signal to my team. No rush here. Just show up whenever you want to. One day I arrived at 7:30 a.m. after my daily workout to find one of my team members already at her computer, hard at work. Good for her. I answered my emails, then was off for a long day of appointments. When I got back to the office around 6:30, she was exactly where I'd left her. The look of concentration on her face was intense, like she was trying to split the atom. I returned calls, answered emails, and had a meeting. And when I was finally getting ready to leave at 8 p.m., she was still furiously typing away. What has she been doing all this time, I wondered. She must be writing a screenplay at work. I had to ask. Hi, you have been working so hard all day. How's it going? She took a deep breath. Yeah, I just really want to get this email to a client. Perfect. So I'm working really hard on it. I'm pulling as much data as I can. I'm doing all my research. I need to convince him I'm right. I couldn't have been more shocked if she'd told me that she was an alien from another galaxy. She'd been writing and rewriting the same email all day. While I appreciate the desire to send flawless communication, it doesn't matter how perfect anything is if you don't get results. And how can you be getting results if you're spending 12 hours on one basic task? That's 720 minutes. That's a lot of time and money. She had fallen into the dark, ugly pit known as analysis paralysis, or the perfection trap. The perfection trap will rip through your 1,000 minutes and leave you broke. You were obsessing over one email all day, and now you have no minutes left. You should have saved some time to go to that open house your client wanted you to preview in the East Village, and you managed to miss your networking drinks too. Wonder how many amazing potential clients you would have met there. You didn't meet any new people today, and that's your whole job. There's nothing left to do but go home and inhale a peanut butter sandwich and toss the clothes you wore on the floor and pass out in your bed. Well done, Miss Perfect. Analysis paralysis is a disease that keeps many hardworking people from reaching their earning potential. They overanalyze and overthink everything to death because they believe that time is free, and the result of their hard work will make them money. That's so wrong. Their time is not free, and the result is a gamble. Even if the email is perfect, the perfection trap actually costs them more money. And they would know that if they just looked at their day, like a CEO would look at their company. They would budget the appropriate funds for each task at hand, knowing that the only way to make a return on the new 1,000 minutes every day is to be as careful with them as you would with your own cold hard cash. It's if perfectionism gets its grip on you, you'll be wasting one day after another. Stay away from it and instead acquaint yourself with excellence. Excellence is real, while perfection is a myth. Wow, I love that line. Excellence is real, while perfection is a myth. Think about it. Have you ever read an obituary that said, Laura wrote perfect emails? No, you never have, okay? Here's code number 11 for you. Perfectionism is like a straitjacket that you need to break out of if you want to take risks, go bigger, and succeed on the highest levels. I like that one too. A life full of excellence includes winning awards, running a successful business, and raising great kids. That's the kind of thing you hear about. Excellence is about having high but achievable standards. Excellence doesn't want to suck the life out of your minutes. Excellence wants you to get results. You have two choices. You can go home at the end of the productive day to hang out with your family and feeling great because you're winning at life, or you can make yourself another pathetic sandwich and stand over sad piles of clothes so you can fall into bed feeling like shit because you didn't get anything done again. Which scenario do you want for your own life? If you've been known to fall headfirst into perfection trap, there's a way to keep you out of it. You need to tag yourself out. And here is how you do it. TAG is an acronym, TAG. And he goes into TAG like this. T stands for trust. Trust is know what you're doing. Overthinking is the gateway to perfectionism. You do have the skills to execute the task. Don't overthink it. Make a plan for conquering this task. Write down your objective and list the steps you need to take to get it done. Execute is your motto from now on. Just like a trader at a big investment bank, you will execute trades with your 1,000 minutes each day. Here's letter A. Ask. Talk to someone who knows more than you. This could be a colleague. If you're terrified of making an embarrassing mistake, or you're not sure your presentation is nailing the point home, or there's a problem with that big deal you have in the works, quickly ask a trusted non-perfectionist co-worker to provide some feedback. You should have this person on speed dial, and they should be a strong decision maker. And no matter what you do, do not ask a fellow overthinker, or the two of you will be trapped on your weird island of perfectionism together forever with no way off. Here's G, give. Give yourself a time limit, 2 minutes for an email, an hour for a PowerPoint presentation. This will train your mind to move through these tasks without draining at your minute bank. Every task you do and every action you take costs you time, which costs you money. The extra 10 minutes you took that you didn't really need, well, that just cost you $10. Do you like cutting up $10 bills? I'm sure you don't. Okay. There will be some clear signs that you're climbing out of the perfectionism hole. And these signs will be in the form of many results. Are you flying through your to-do list? Have you added more to do on your plate? Are you making more money? Personally, increasing clientele or growing profit for your business. If you're not finishing tasks and heading back to the opportunity buffet for second helpings and ranking in more dollars, you may still have a problem. So tag yourself until you seriously actually see the light in the form of getting shit done. Minute killer number 2, the red zone. Usually open houses are hazard-free, but there are occasionally some issues. Leaving footprints on light-colored rugs, fingerprints on glowing appliances, that must be wiped away. Nosy people poking in closets for far too long, and God help me, clogged toilets. But what happened in that apartment on West 22nd Street was a brand new problem. You see, Heather was spending $5 million on her first home on West 22nd Street, and she wanted to bring her dad along before she finalized this huge purchase. Dad was really being a dad. He opened the refrigerator and gazed inside. What's he looking? Looking for sandwich fixings? The dishwasher was subject to the same amount of scrutiny. All 8 of the burners on the stove were tested, and the oven was turned on. Oh my God, how far is he going to take this? Is he going to bake a cake? I follow him around with a cloth, wiping away his fingerprints like we were on some kind of organized crime ring. We were never here. You can't prove we touched anything. I was polishing the front of the microwave when I heard, what the hell is this? Dad was pointing to a large but barely visible metal access panel along the wall where the controls for the HVAC unit were located. The meticulous family who lived in the apartment had hired an artisan to create custom Venetian paneling at great expense, so the panel would blend into their perfect walls and not be a metal eyesore. Before I could explain what it was and ask him to kindly not touch it, Dad had ripped the very expensive artisan crafted HVAC panel off the wall to inspect what was inside. precious Italian plaster plummeted to the floor along with my spirit, because this is the kind of unexpected situations that kills my hard work. It's like someone took all the sweat equity I put into the deal, threw it on the floor, crushed it with their foot, and once they were all sure of my efforts were pulverized, they spit on whatever was left. When I told the meticulous family what had happened, they were furious. Ryan, you know how hard it was for us to find an artisan to make that? We had to ship a man in from Italy. We were so mad we can't even think right now. And guess what? The buyer no longer wanted to spend $5 million on the apartment that was falling to pieces, said her daddy. Goodbye, commission. Goodbye, minutes. It was nice knowing you. Ugh. Shit happens at work just like everything else. Just like everyone else, I have projects and deals that die. For me, this can be anything from getting fired from a listing or a buyer disappearing off the face of the earth, to a client discovering her little dog Fido exceeds the weight limit at the new co-op she just bought. They are the kinds of problems that can turn my calendar into a red zone. The red zone is a scary and angry place where you will not be bringing in more income because you will use all of your minutes to put out fires, do damage control, care for disappointed clients who are irate because you left fingerprints behind. A dog groomer on your staff shaves the wrong dog. Welcome to the red zone. You are crushed because you pitched your heart out for a gig, but the client went with your rival catering company. That sucks. And those X number of hours spent creating the best presentation are definitely the red zone territory. The red zone will leave you exhausted, overwhelmed, and feeling like you want to scream, cry, or both. I get it. Okay. When a client calls to say, thank you so much for spending all your hours on your life showing us properties in Brooklyn, but we've decided we want to experience cattle ranching. We're moving to Wyoming instead. We won't be buying the $12 million brownstone after all. I want to cry, but instead I give myself CPR, and so I can get out of the red zone and get back to a positive space. And then CPR also has its acronym, and that it breaks down into CPR. So C stands for control. There are things you can't control. A client's deep desire to try cattle ranching, for instance, and also the things that you can control, okay? You can control how busy you are, how many meetings you set up in a day, how many cold calls you make, how much time you spend following up with potential clients. Stay busy, create opportunities for new work. If you stay focused on the work will heal you. P is for perspective. Change your perspective on problems, expect them. Succeeding involves risk-taking. Failure and disappointment are part of that combination. So what if you had to spend an hour on the phone apologizing to Mrs. Smith about her balding dog's haircut, and then 30 minutes with your staff discussing new protocols for dog haircuts? That's part of your job. There are still many minutes left. If you had $1,000 and you lost 90, would you say, well, F it, I'll just throw the rest of the money in the trash? Well, no, because that would be crazy. Are you going to remember this moment 20 years from now? Probably not. Chances are it's not that bad. So the problem was one part of a day. That's not your whole life. So bad things will happen to you. And with more success comes more failure. Prepare yourself every day to expect failure, and you won't focus on those angry minutes as much as you used to. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. So prepare yourself every day to expect failure. That's interesting. And then here's R, okay, CPR. R is re-engage. After you've placated Mrs. Smith by assuring her this will never happen again, and that you value her business so much you'll be grooming Rex free of charge for the next year. You do not get to close your door and put your head down on your desk and cry, okay? That's not big money energy. That's feeling sorry for yourself. Do you want to spend your valuable minutes crying by yourself? Resist the urge to throw a pity party and re-engage. When a deal falls through for me, I'll reach out to a new developer and introduce myself, or I'll whip out my phone and start calling my warm contacts. Warm equals buying curious, hot is actively looking to buy, and then cold is they're not really actually looking. So I'm back out there doing my real job, which is dominating at real estate sales. Just like the stock market, if you sell when the market is down, you're guaranteed to lose money. So you double down, you reinvest, you take advantage of the loss, and you make it up by going even harder. Here's minute killer number 3, work overload. I was sitting at my desk on a Sunday afternoon watching hundreds of emails pop up. It's like my inbox had become weed-infested garden. There was so much growth. It was hard to see the flowers. There were emails about offers I need to answer immediately, emails from potential clients, emails from sellers who had questions, emails about filming a $1 million listing, emails from developers, emails from lawyers, emails from past clients, emails from team members, emails from my Seller Like Serhant course members, and a lot of spam, so many emails. Email communication is really important to my success. My clients live all over the world, but email allows us to do business efficiently. Though I get a lot of emails, I must be careful at all times not to miss anything. I carefully organize them into folders so I can easily access information about a client or deal when I need it, or when I'm scheduled to do some follow-up. Here's the thing about me again, I follow up until I die. I spend time doing this every week. I used to block out follow-up time in my calendar, but it eventually became an automatic habit. I follow up regularly and relentlessly. Trivia time. According to both Microsoft and Apple, who holds the record for having the most email folders in Outlook? Tim Cook, Taylor Swift, or Ryan Serhant? Ding, ding, ding. The correct answer is number 3. It's Ryan, okay? But when both Microsoft and Apple support confirmed to me that I indeed had more email folders than anyone else on the planet, I had to wonder, was this the best use of my minutes? Was I using them wisely? I decided I needed to do a time audit to see where my minutes were actually going. So I spent a few days auditing my time in 15-minute intervals. Every 15 minutes, I jotted down what I was doing, whether I was on the phone, eating, brushing my teeth, or in a meeting. I did this for 3 days so I could get a good picture of where my minutes were actually being spent. The time I spent doing this audit was worth it to me. If spending time now saves me time later, I've come out on top of my investment. I discovered right away that there were a few tasks I needed to take control of. I was spending 10 hours a week organizing emails and 8 hours a week dealing with bookkeeping. I had no idea I was spending 1,080 minutes on just email organization and bookkeeping. Crazy. In the moment, it never felt like I was spending that much of my precious time on those tasks. But when you add it up, I was spending 1 full day of minutes each week on those 2 tasks. Bookkeeping and organizing my emails were not a wise use of my minutes. I wanted to use those minutes to meet more clients, sell more apartments, and generate more income. So I hired a bookkeeper who would work with my accountant directly. I hired Jasper, aka the master of email, to organize my email. The bookkeeper took all of the Excel work around commissions and income off my plate. I'm very anal when it comes to my money, tracking it and making sure I get paid on time for everything I do. And I always like being in control of my own bookkeeping. But now I have a system where the bookkeeper does all the legwork and then every week sends me an email with a full breakdown that I can quickly review and approve in under 15 minutes. That savings of 480 minutes per week was a 320% return on my time compared to what I had been spending previously by doing all the work on my own. And here comes Jasper. Jasper is my email guru. Worked out a system with me where I would actually archive every email that I didn't need in my inbox anymore. And he would go into the archive at night and sort them all by client, deal, or trade into specific folders. That way, my inbox could just be full of urgent and timely emails. And then I would go to my folders for everything else. This also helped me with my follow-up and organization. I paid Jasper to do this, and he's worth every penny. I realized I was making the mistake of thinking my time wasn't costing me anything. So I would prefer to spend minutes rather than dollars on those two tasks. But when I did my time audit, I saw that spending a few $1,000s every month on a bookkeeper and Jasper was worth the 1,080 minutes I was saving. Time equals money. That's business 101. When you start to think of your minutes as money, you become very careful with how you spend them. Start with a time audit, for instance. Write down what you do every 15 minutes for a couple of days. The results may surprise you. Are you spending 100 minutes on YouTube watching puppies snuggle with babies? Are you spending 300 minutes a week doing laundry? These are your precious minutes, and you need to decide if that's where you want to spend them. Also, there places where you aren't spending, but you should be. If you're only spending 20 minutes a week seeking out new business, you need to readjust your time budget. Think about how to reorganize your tasks so they're making your business money. Remember the FKD system from Sell It Like Serhant. Mini recap: every day you should devote time to finder work. That's the CEO who finds money for the company. Keeper work, which is a CFO, who runs the gamut from creating budgets to making financial projections. And then the doer work, that's the grind, the paperwork, the phone calls, the emails. Early in your career, you're going to be spending most of your time in the doer mode. But as you climb up the ladder, you'll enter longer periods of finder and keeper work while you hire someone else to do the work. Ooh, I love this so much. This one is really, really good. I really enjoyed that one, actually. If you want to take your career up several notches and really become a millionaire in the near future, you need to step into task triage. This is a system for dividing your tasks into 3 different categories based on urgency so that you don't get overwhelmed with everything you need to do every day. Category 1, spend your minutes here, now. For me, category 1 includes phone calls and correspondence from top clients or developers I want to work with. So I will spend my minutes on category 1 first because this is where my minutes can turn into large commission checks and new business. So look at your audit to identify the tasks that should take priority. This is where you should be spending most of your minutes because new business always gives you the potential to earn more money. Category 2, this is where you spend 0 minutes. Okay, category 2 consists of tasks that are sucking your minutes dry. To be very clear, when I say spend 0 minutes here, that does not include, and this is in bold letters, okay, tasks you hate and that you just don't want to do. Every single job has tasks that are unpleasant, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can pass all of them off, okay? Very important. I don't sit down with a pile of contracts and think, wow, this will be thrilling. But reading them is an important part of my job, and I need to spend some time here, whether I want to or not. 0-minute tasks are the ones that can absolutely 100% be done by someone else. Also, I know you may be feeling reluctant to let go of some tasks you enjoy, or think will be hard to outsource. It wasn't easy for me to let go of my email. Would another person be able to figure out how I wanted them organized? The answer was yes. Another person was capable of handling the simple and straightforward tasks once took up all the time to show them how. Okay? Another person was able and capable of handling this simple and straightforward task once I took the time to show them how. Once I took the time to show them how. That's key right there. And I can now dedicate those 600 minutes to category 1 tasks, which actually make me more money. Sure, outsourcing my bookkeeping and emails created overhead, but the $2,500 a month I spend on these tasks is earned back exponentially because I can make much more money with those 1,080 minutes I just bought myself, and the additional income I will make will pay for the new overhead in dividends. I love how he explained this because as coaches, as people that are hiring and expanding your team, you want to actually, if you're going to do it yourself, then you have to take the time to show someone how to do something. Okay, if you plan to build an in-house team, if you plan to hire a nanny, if you plan to hire someone to help you with groceries or something, you have to teach them at least once. Don't expect them to know exactly how you like things. Same goes with your business. This is so freaking good. Category 3, spend your bonus minutes later. If I'm on a phone call that ends 10 minutes early, I've just been given 10 bonus minutes to get even more done. To me, that feels like someone just knocked on my window while I'm driving down 42nd Street, and instead of asking me for money, he hands me $10. It's like being given a present from the time gods. So I use those minutes wisely. I keep a list handy of tasks I'd like to accomplish when surprise bonus minutes present themselves, so that I don't waste them on reading the news or checking social media. These bonus tasks might include calling clients to see how they like their new apartment, important public relations work, or sketching out ideas for the next vlog, important branding work. If traffic was lighter than I expected, I can actually sit in the car before a meeting and use those bonus minutes wisely too. Those bonus minutes can add up to large blocks of time where you can be working hard and increasing your income. Your competition is probably going for a coffee and a donut during their bonus minutes. So grab onto them and come out ahead. I used to wish for more hours in the day. I've been told it's simply not possible. So instead of fretting about how there is never enough time, I decided to take control of every minute. On your quest for success, remember that you are the CEO of your own bank time. Your 1,000 minutes are yours to use however you want. You can use them to further yourself or conquer goals. You are rich with time. You are as rich as literally everyone else on the planet, and that time renews itself every single day. So spend your time wisely, get things done, and you will find yourself getting closer to the big, amazing you. I freaking love him so much, and I love this chapter. I really do. And today has been such a great day because it was filled with exciting new things that we're launching. And for me to actually receive this message, it was like totally God sent. So if you haven't taken your time on it, and I'm literally going to start doing this because I really like having, time bonus minutes. Like I'm really excited about bonus minutes. I'm excited for seeing how much more I can actually automate in my day-to-day and how I can be of better service, be of better help to not only my team, but also the people that I want to work with. I'm just really pumped about this chapter, and I hope you got a lot of value out of it. I know I did. I hope you're having a beautiful rest of your day, and go get the minutes. Okay, go get your minutes. You're worth it. You deserve it. Go get it.